Good morning, Facebook. Good afternoon, good evening, or good night. I don't know where you are residing from, but I am on this most special live that we have been trying to get done for a while now. I've been working with Robin for over, oh my gosh, how long?
A
How
year.
long is it? A year. I actually started on my spiritual journey with Robin. I got introduced to her by a mutual friend, and she was like, "You just have to work with Robin. She's helped me so much spiritually." And I was like, "Oh my gosh, I'm on a spiritual journey right now, and I would really like some help. Can you tell me a little bit about her?" So I came across her that way. I've been asking her for some oracle cards every morning. And every time she pulls me a card, it's so on point, and I'm always like, okay, I get it. So the reason why I brought her on here today is because she has changed my life in a lot of ways. She introduced me to an Akashic reading where she read about my records. Stop. I'll have her go into more detail, but she went into my records a couple lives ago and told me a few stories. And basically, she said that when I tell you the stories, you're going to relate to them. So, and I did in a huge way. I'm going to have her tell you a little bit about her. This is Robin Sheridan, and she is a Reiki, theta, Akashic, and a beautiful soul. She works on herself spiritually almost every single day, and I am just so pleased to have you. So thank you for being here.
You're so welcome, Talia. I'm really grateful to be here. Talia and I have, oh, excuse me. My cat decided to attack something. We go on live and then my cat decides to misbehave.
That's cats.
All right. I started my journey when I was in my 30s. I just woke up one morning and I didn't like who looked back at me in the mirror. And I just knew that I really had to change things in my life. And it started out with just, reading books, because back then there was not a huge spiritual group of people. And you just basically learned from reading books and taking the occasional course. And that is how I ended up taking essential oil courses. And that's how I became a Reiki master. And it's just been a journey since then, because we never stop learning. And if we ever think that we know everything we're supposed to know, Spirit gives us a real big kick in the ass and reminds us that we don't.
So I'm going to ask you a few questions. What exactly can you explain to everybody that you've explained to me about what the difference is between your spirit and your ego?
All right. So your ego is your body. You need an ego to survive. If you don't have an ego, you can't survive. It warns you when things are not going the way they're supposed to be. It's your protection mode. And before we really became more spiritually aware, our ego was the main part of who we are. We did everything through ego, through survival, through what's another word for it? It was like we didn't know when we were going to be attacked, right? We're out hunting and as a hunter we're hunting bear, but the truth is the bear is hunting us. So your ego would make you aware that that bear was behind you.
Mm-hmm. So it's like the flight or fight mode almost too.
Exactly.
Yeah. Very
All
cool.
right. And your soul is the part of you that came down from heaven that wanted to experience life in a physical body. And that's the part of us that kind of tells us the difference between right or wrong. That's the intuition. When we know that something's just not quite right, that's the part of us when we're in a conversation with somebody and something doesn't resonate, or we're really truly attracted to that person. Right.
And I noticed that that's like where the tug of war comes in. It's like the ego and the spirit like just tugging at each other, and that's where everyone's like, I'm going nuts. And it's like, no, There's actually science behind why that's happening. So that's what I love about you, because you've taught me the difference between the two. So have you had any like struggles through your journey of your spirituality?
Oh, absolutely. Because we can go back into ego. Uh, because we've been raised, with certain belief systems. We have our past, we have our experiences in life, and we get triggered often throughout the day. So when we get triggered, it's really easy to go back into ego and get into that negative mindset, and things are not going to change. And your ego likes things the way they are. So when you are on your spiritual path and you're trying to become more or change what you're doing, or you want to change the way you feel about things, your ego gets really uncomfortable. And it's like,
And that's where the most growth happens.
yes,
Yeah.
yes. Being uncomfortable makes us recognize the difference between our ego and our spiritual growth. Meditation is one of the best ways to really differentiate. Is that the right word?
Yeah. With the Canadian accent. I love it.
Okay, so when I first started meditating, I learned that when the information was not positive or the information made me uncomfortable, that was my ego. And I learned to recognize my ego through meditation. And then when the information felt really good and it felt warm and it was positive, then I knew that was information that could be coming from my soul or my spirit guides, because your soul and your spirit guide never give you negative information. They never tell you you're better than anybody else. They never tell you you're smarter than everybody else. They never tell you you're more spiritual than anybody else, but your ego does.
So why is it that when you're in ego, correct me if I'm wrong, that's your fear factor, your doubt, your worry, your stress hormones. So when you're not close to spirit, that's when, ego really tunes in to all of that. That's what I notice, because every time I call you, I'm like, I feel very lost. I need to come back to my spirit guides, and I know you always really help ground me with that. Any advice on that?
Okay, that you're partly correct. Some of that's your ego, but also that's your consciousness.
Okay.
Okay, so think of you have three. I'm going to say three personalities because that's what I learned how to do. Change, see the differences. I'm not going to try that word again.
Differentiate. Yeah.
Yeah.
It's gonna be, oh yeah, I'm good too.
So
Know the differences.
yeah. So my ego's the one that doesn't like change. But then we have our consciousness. Now, our consciousness is our body's consciousness, our cellular memories. And we have experienced so much in our lifetime, and
Mhm.
even past life. So it's stored in our body. So things happen and those memories get triggered. So when we go to do something, our consciousness is going to go, no, we did that before. And all of this bad stuff happened.
Yeah, that's what I noticed about the Akashic reading. One of the main things that I loved about the Akashic reading was I didn't notice things, which was frustrating too at the same time. I didn't notice everything right away. So when you got me into the Akashic reading, and you read all these stories to me, and therefore, whoever doesn't know about an Akashic reading, after my soul goes into her, correct?
I
And
tap into your soul. Yeah.
yeah, so my soul basically uses her body to type out a report about me and what I need to know to fix in this life. So it was really interesting because she triggered me a lot, and I actually quit a lot of my marketing, everything marketing, and it comes, believe it or not, my ego, not my ego, my Akashic reading is like, you deserve to be on a soapbox. Everything that's happened to you in your life, you deserve to spread your message, and it didn't happen to you, it happened for you. And I learned about what a God spark is and how many spirits were attached to my body. And for those of you who are like, what the heck are they talking about? A lot of people are open to this, and a lot of people are skeptics. And, I always remembered, a lot of people are like, I'm not really into that like weird like voodoo stuff. And it's not about that. It's on a deeper cellular level where I will tell you, when I met Robin, I was very, very blocked, and I was very, very stuck. And all I did was cry. And I remember just messaging her going, I just want it to go away. I just want it to stop. And she's like, it will. Just keep doing the clearings. Because after you do the Akashic reading, you do a clearing and affirmations that actually clear your DNA of anything bad that happened to you generations and lives ago. And so it can't repeat itself, correct? After you do the clearings.
Right. There's,
Yeah.
yes. With the Akashic Soul Reading, it's like a really deep dive. It's like going into, you've all heard the story that you take the onion and you peel from the outside of the onion. Well, the Akashic Reading goes into the center of the onion and finds out what your soul brought into this life for you to learn. And because you weren't able to change it and learn it, think of it as the seed of the onion, and the onion grew up around it.
Mm-hmm.
So we needed to go right to that seed. We needed to go right to that information that you brought in that you needed to change in this lifetime. And we get told things that happened in the past. We get told about people who are connected to you in this lifetime. We get told about negative energies and your soul stories. The soul stories are based on what you didn't resolve in your past life, and that's what you brought here. And by
Sorry, you know what I love that you told me when we were in the middle of a couple of our sessions, especially the Akashic, is I couldn't sleep at night. And sorry to interrupt you, but you reminded me of this, and it was huge for me. I don't know who has TMJ or who grinds their teeth. I started to after having kids. Kids do that to you. But no, I thought it was that, and it wasn't. It was Robin actually told me that during our night's sleep, we try to fix things from our past life. And I was sleeping like this, and I was grinding my teeth. And what was crazy, even after the Akashic reading, is I'm sleeping better. And I'm not fighting myself anymore. And I actually feel like I'm waking up more rejuvenated just because I feel less stressed, because I've finally have been peeling back the layers after layers after layers. And then when you think it's done, something else pops up and you're just like, I thought I was over this. But what's great about the Akashic reading, and then she also does theta. So I did a little bit of theta with her yesterday. Oh my gosh, it's like it's really mind blowing what the energy healing does for you and your body and your mind and your soul and all of the things. Because it's like I'm so grateful to have met you, Robin, because I actually wasn't going to do an Akashic reading with her because someone was trying to talk me out of it. And I wasn't going to. And then when I finally spoke to her, me and her are very no BS, like what you see is what you get, which I love about her. Is that's probably why we get along so well. And she's like, take a chance. And I did. And my patterns have broken so well that I can't even pick. I know I always go back to this, but like I can't even pick the same coffee cup anymore, because that's how much my patterns have changed. Because really getting down to the seed, really getting down to the onion, really getting down to that coding that was made for us since we were in the womb, born, and being raised, has done to us. Because you think I'm stuck, I'm stuck, I'm stuck, I'm stupid, and all the things. It's not that. Like, it could generally mean that there's something deeper. What do you, anything to add?
You're wonderful.
I could talk to her for days because I bother her all the time. I'm like, I need to talk to you for a second. I need to talk to you for a second. Because when I'm starting to get stressed and I'm starting to get angry, she literally, it's like I'm a floating balloon, and then she goes, all right, come on back down. So have you noticed anything like that with your other clients with the Akashic?
Oh, absolutely. So one of the things I really noticed is even before I did my own Akashic reading, before all I saw were problems. And then after I did my Akashic reading and did the homework, you do have homework, you need to change your patterns and you need to continue to change your patterns. Then after that, I saw pathways, I saw solutions. I don't see problems anymore, which was amazing to go from being completely blocked and only seeing what I couldn't have to then going and seeing, oh, well, if I do it this way, then I can have it. And when we change, all of a sudden doors start opening for us. Like I always tell people, I had made a promise that when I turned 60, I would do this full time. I would dedicate myself to spiritual mentoring and working with people as a healer. And so I had no idea how I was going to do it, but I listened to spirit. I got the go ahead and I went ahead and did all the paperwork for me to retire. Now my pension was only going to be $500 a month. And I was like, how can I live on $500 a month? Well, when the pension office called me, they said, hey, you have options here. You can take more money for a shorter amount of time. And I went, okay, I'm going to do that. So I took a larger sum for 4 years, and then it works out to $99 a month.
Nice.
But you have to believe in what you're doing. And then I went to the bank and I got my house remortgaged and all my debt thrown into that. Now I had tried so many times before to get my house remortgaged and my debt thrown in, and they kept telling me it couldn't be done. So when I listened to spirit, I made the jump, not knowing how it was going to be done, and it was done. But that was after the Akashic reading, right?
Yeah,
Nothing
it's
worked
amazing.
before.
It's really amazing how things just unfold. And a little bit about since I had postpartum, we worked on a little bit theta. I know we're talking about Akashic. I'm not trying to jump. What I think is great about Robin too is the moment I had a block, the moment she's like, we can fix that. Just, do your trauma list and do your forgiveness list. And, she's a healer. And those of you skeptics out there, you should try it because it'll change your life. But what I was basically trying to go for is my son and I had postpartum really bad, and I was really mean to him when he was a baby. And a little bit about theta, she went in and she helped heal our anger. And I don't want to cry because I just did my makeup. But not but yesterday was just such a wonderful day. It was literally like a 180 with my son. And I actually asked him, how are you feeling? Are you feeling different? And he's like, a little calmer today, mom. And I didn't tell him anything. And then I actually told him this morning, and he was like, that can happen. Like, that's a thing. And, I think, I know basically why we're here today is I just really want everyone to know that there's just so much more out there than just meets the eye. And Robin has really opened my life and my mind to that. So I just love you. I
Uh,
do.
you're welcome. I love you too. And it's really important that we learn to trust the process and be willing to take that leap of faith.
Have
Like
patience.
Talia said, it took her, I kid
Mm.
you not, it took her 6 months
Oh
to make the
gosh.
decision to do the reading.
Uh,
But the thing is, is that I knew she would do it when it was the right time. That's called divine timing. And when her soul was ready for her to look at these issues, when she was in a position where she felt safe enough to look at the issues, that's when she made the decision to do the Akashic reading. And I love the Akashic reading because, like I said, it gets to that stuff that you brought here to solve. And if you don't solve it when you're younger, then that creates this builds your whole onion.
I feel like it's like getting down to the ugly,
It is. But what's
like
really
really
also
head on. Yeah.
beautiful about the soul stories is you also see how much you have achieved, right?
Mhm.
You can, okay, so
Yeah.
in the soul story, it says, A, B, C, and D happened, and you need to fix A, B, C, and D. So then we look at your life now, and it's like, well, I fixed A and B. I just have C and D to do now.
Yeah, and then Z comes and
And
all in between.
well, and the thing is because we've built that onion around our seed, that the onion's grown from the seed, that's where theta comes in it. It helps you remove your ancestral blocks, the blocks that happened to you as a child, the traumas, the stories you were told, and the stories you tell yourself.
Oh,
And that's where theta comes in. We get to dive deep down and find the core belief behind why the belief was created.
I'm
Is
literally, guys, with Robin, I found out why I procrastinate, why I can't time block. What else was it? Why I feel guilt is because what was it yesterday? It was guilt makes me honest. Makes me feel honest. I wrote that one down because that was like a aha moment for me. And there's reasons why, which I never knew, is why you do these things.
yeah.
And that kind of blew my mind.
Well, and part of those, if you don't mind me sharing,
Absolutely.
Talia is always late for things. And we discovered that the reason why she was always late for things because something happened to her when she was really young, that because they were late, it protected her. She was safe because they were late. So for her, she relates being late with being safe. If I'm late, I'm always safe. And it's funny how we get these perceptions at such a really young age.
Yeah. Even your money mindset. I did a meditation. Um, I think you gave it to me, I'm pretty sure. It was a mom and dad meditation, and basically like when did your mom and dad give you the money belief? And when you meditate, it's like the first thing that comes to your head is the answer. And it was mind blowing for me because, and then they got to my dad, and I was like, well, 3, because that was what my mom did to me. And then they're like, no, 14. And I'm like, what? And meditation, everyone's like, oh, just meditate, oh, just meditate. It's so much bigger than that, uh because meditation is really like the opening and the guide to everything internally to fix yourself. I truly believe that. So, and Robin does her oracle readings every morning, you guys. You should join her. She is phenomenal. She does it right before her bus run, correct?
Yeah.
Yeah,
I get up
she
at
drives the
4
bus.
o'clock in the morning, do
4
my
o'clock.
meditation, do the protection, and then I get messages from spirit, and then I allow you to come and ask for a card.
Yeah, I could talk to her for days. She's also into feng shui. So we're not going to go into that either, but that's a whole nother life. But thank you so much. Do you have any closing remarks or?
You know what? I'm just so grateful that I have met so many wonderful people through Facebook. 2020 was a gift for me because I got to meet wonderful people like Talia. I got to build my Facebook family, my Facebook group, and I got to discover what it means to be an entrepreneur. I had no skills, business skills. you know and it's slowly been learning how to do them, but it was so amazing because so many people came forward during 2020 and did courses for free, which I really took advantage of to learn more about how to set up your business and how to do things. At the same time, I've paid for a lot of courses too during 2020 and this year. It's really about compassionate prosperity. If we want to receive, we need to give. So for all those free courses that I received, I do my free live book Facebook Live for Oracle cards. And then I pay for courses that I think are really important. So it's awesome. And I love Talia so much. She's really kind of been one of the best things that happened to me in 2020. Oh, you're muted. I have no idea. I guess we've lost sound. That happens. All right. We can't hear you. All right. Well, I'll just go ahead and close because this has happened on other Zooms I've been on too. I hope you guys can hear me. You can hear me, right? All right. So we both love you very much. Thank you for watching and you have a wonderful day. All right.